Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mentor, Ohio, and thanks for being with me here today. And today I would like to showcase a card I made with products from an upcoming celebration item. And this is the card. It's also stamped on the inside. And the stamp set on the inside, this greeting and the flowers is from the Friendly Hello, and that is during celebration, and that is also paired with the designer series paper for this card is also called Friendly Hello. That's 12 by 12 sheets of designer series paper, and the stamp set and the designer series paper is a free celebration item with your qualifying purchase of $100 before tax and shipping. So that is what I'm going to be working with today. And again, this is the card, and I've also used the tailor-made dies for our two tags that we've die cut. And then the Hello and the Friend, that is from the biggest Wish stamp set, and that is in the annual catalog, along with the ribbon and the embellishments. So let's get started on this card. There's just a few things I want to show you if you're not familiar with some of our products. So the card base is Pool Party. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in the center and burnished with my bone folder. And then you need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. We have one for the outside, one for the inside. My designer series paper is from, again, the Friendly Hello, and this piece is 3 by 5 1/4. This piece is 4 by 2. And this piece, I've already stamped on it. I have it mounted on a piece of white, basic white cardstock. This piece is 3 by 1 1/4. And what I did on this, I first just die cut my designer series paper with my dies, with my tag dies. This piece was okay, but this, even with dimensionals, was just kind of floppy. Designer series paper does not have the weight of cardstock. It's thinner. So I mounted, I used our adhesive sheets, and those are also in the annual catalog. This is what they look like if you're not familiar with them. They're 6 by 12, and you get 12 of these in a pack. And what I did is I put the adhesive sheet onto the back of my designer series paper, and then put that onto a piece of basic white cardstock. If you don't have adhesive sheets, you use your tape runner. I would not use the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, just in case it hasn't completely dried. It could still ooze out. Get on your dies and on your die cutting machine. But I have the adhesive sheets. I love them. They're great. So that's what I'm going to show you right now if you're not familiar with them. So I have my designer series paper cut, and I'm going to peel off the backing from one side of my adhesive sheet. And if you can, I like to leave the other piece on there. So I'm going to put this on the back side of my DSP, because I want to stamp on this side. So I'm going to put this on the back side and push this down. I just want to make sure I get that on there good. So I'm just going to burnish it with my bone folder. Sometimes I can pick this up with my fingernails. Sometimes I can't. But you can use your take your pick tool or a piercer. And if you start to pull your adhesive sheet back and it looks like the adhesive is sticking here, put it back down and burnish it again with your bone folder, because you want to make sure that the adhesive stays on your paper. And then I just take this and put it on my basic white cardstock. And I have cut, because it's a little bit easier, I have cut my basic white cardstock a little bit larger than my designer series paper. It just makes it easier in case I don't get that lined up exactly right. I don't have anything hanging off the edges. So now we're going to come in and we're going to stamp. This piece is stamped for us. We're going to stamp our hello. And I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so I have my piercing mat down. Make sure that's good and inked. Stamp my hello. I'm going to just give that a little bit. I'm not rocking or pressing really hard. I'm just holding the stamp down. I want to make sure, since the image on the hello is more solid, and that's true with red rubber or your photopolymer, I just want to make sure that the ink transfers, that I give the ink enough time and to have enough contact with my paper to settle. There we go. All right, now we're going to die cut these tags, and I brought over the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to do that. It was either that or say, oh, wait, let me get up and go over to where I keep my the larger die cut machine. So on the regular Stampin' Cut and Emboss, you could run both of these through and cut both of them on the platform, but because the mini is smaller, they both won't fit. So I've got my plate set up. My work grid's moving. We're gonna crank that through. And just because I've got cardstock on there, I'm gonna run it back through. Again, I want to make sure it cuts through the DSP and the cardstock, and it did. So we have one down, and we'll do the other one, the smaller die. That lined up the way I like it. I think it looks like it's straight. And again, we're gonna, I've got my plates uneven, no wonder it won't crank through. Don't have everything lined up right. Let's see, there we go. And again, I'm going to run it through again just to make sure it cuts through all those layers of DSP and cardstock. And it did. Set that aside, get it out of the way. And now we will stamp on the inside, because like I said, I also have a greeting on the inside. So it's photopolymer. So again, I'm going to bring out my stamping pierce mat. And for this, I've used the Pool Party ink, and I've taken the large flower image from the Friendly Hello, and that I'm going to stamp on my my basic white cardstock. We have had basic white cardstock for how long, and I still keep wanting to call it Whisper White. Just can't seem to keep that straight in my head. Then I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I am stamping the greeting. Hope you have the best birthday. And I'm going to stamp that hopefully in the center of those flowers. And I might have to get my head in the video here. I don't want to, but to make sure I can see if I'm somewhat, I hope, in the center. There we go. Now we're just going to, I'm going to set that aside. We're going to assemble our card. So I'm going to adhere this Designer Series paper to the left side of my other piece of basic white cardstock. And sometimes it's hard for me to line up the edge, so I tilt my cardstock so that my one edge is on my workspace, and then that way I can usually get a really flush edge on that. Then I am going to put this piece onto my card base, and again, that is Pool Party. This tag, I'm just going to use my tape runner, and I'm going to offset that some and put that down. Now this small tag, I am going to use dimensionals for that. Remove the backing, the release paper. You could put this straight if you want to, but sometimes if you don't, a little tip, if you don't stamp something quite straight, if you angle it, then it looks like it's straight. So again, on this card, I have some, just took the Pool Party sheer ribbon, and I just made simple knots, and I'm going to attach those with glue dots. I just press where my little knot is onto the glue dot, pick that up, and I'm just kind of covering the hole in the tag for these. And if your glue dot is larger than your ribbon or your bow, the knot on your bow, I just sort of push that underneath it. Then that way, hopefully it doesn't stick. You can use your paper piercer. It won't stick to the inside of the envelope. Okay, let's trim those tails up. Those look a little crazy there. So I'm just going to grab my snips and trim those. Right, I'm going to put the greeting on the inside, and then we're going to finish off the front with some embellishments. And I chose to use the opal rounds from the annual catalog, just for the simple reason that my ribbon is like the sheer, and it has like a little bit of shimmer to it. And the opal rounds, they seem to mimic the shimmer that's in the ribbon. So that's why I decided to use those. So I'll put one up here. I'm going to use another big one. Another big one down here. And then the smaller one up near the top. So there we go. An easy card using the Hello Friendly stamp set and Designer Series paper that is free during Celebration. And Celebration begins January 4th. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.